Hello, everybody. Well, by now it's pretty apparent the war is escalating. And it's not just escalating military-wise, it's escalating economically and financially. So what can we anticipate? Well, the oil-producing nations have some pretty strong weapons at their disposal. So here are three options we at Zanetti Financial think could play out. Option number one involves the Strait of Hormuz. And we've talked about this before, but it wasn't a very good map. So here's a better one. So you see that circle? That is where the Strait of Hormuz is, and that's where the oil tankers leave the Persian Gulf, head out into the Gulf of Oman, and then head down to the Indian Ocean, and then to points east. Well, 22% of the world's oil flows through there. 18% of the world's natural gas flows through there. Now imagine you're a tanker making that turn. You have to go very slowly. That makes you a target. So a couple of things could happen. Iran could sink a couple of tankers and just clog up the whole channel. Well, that would stop the flow. Option number two that they could do would be fire some missiles but miss. But every insurance company on the planet's going to go, we're not sending tankers through there because if they're sunk, we've got to eat the cost of that claim. Or option number three is, yes, they actually just start firing and sinking and making it impassable. So that's option number one. What would happen if they closed off the straits? You'd probably see oil go to 120, maybe to 150 bucks a barrel overnight. Out there, gas prices double, maybe more. Would that put a clinch on the West? Yes. So that's option one. Option two, the oil-producing nations could do what the United Auto Workers just did to Ford and GM. And what they did is they had rolling strikes. All right, so first there was a strike in Tennessee, and then there was a strike at the Detroit plant, and so on. And they kept squeezing management until finally they reached an agreement. OPEC could do the same thing, except what they would do is rolling embargoes. Just have Kuwait say, we're not going to be shipping any oil to Europe. I mean, imagine that right now. Already in Europe, oil prices are sky high because of the Ukraine-Russian war. Imagine them going even higher. What does that do to industry? What does that do to European banking that's already on the ropes? And of course, banking's all interconnected everywhere. So would it bleed over to the United States and even to Asia? Yes, yes. So that's option number two. Option number three, this would be, I don't know, you call it the atomic bomb of a financial war. All the Saudis would have to do is say this: we are no longer accepting dollars in the oil trade. Now that's the reverse of the petrodollar system, where the only thing they take now are dollars. If they went completely the other way to show their loyalty to Islam and the Muslim world, overnight, demand for dollars would collapse. If you don't need dollars to buy oil, use your own currency, demand drops. Meanwhile, what's happening to the supply of dollars? Well, let's see, last quarter, we printed 1 trillion new ones. This quarter, we're going to print 1.5 trillion new ones, and we're projecting first quarter of next year, another trillion. Put it all together. Well, it's 2.5 trillion in 9 months? Well, you have to be an economic genius on this one. If supply of dollars is soaring while demand is falling, what happens to the value of your currency? Right, down she goes. What happens to prices? Up they go. Imagine what that would do in an election year. Oh my goodness. So these are weapons that OPEC has at its disposal. Have we anticipated this at Zanetti Financial? Yes. Did we think it was going to play out exactly like this? No. We thought oil prices would go up. We thought we would see higher inflation. All that is playing out. That's all good for your portfolios. It's not necessarily good for the stock and the bond markets, however. Are you positioned right? We believe so. So, is it going to get tougher out there? We believe yes. Will you have resources in your portfolios so you can navigate the toughness that's out there? Yes, that's our objective. So let's see how this plays out, but we believe you're invested at the right place at the right time. And so let me turn this over to Walt.